Good morning, campers. Let's do a reading. I feel like going a little bit deeper today. I feel like I have been going a little bit deeper with my collectives. You know that next week I'm going to do 2026 2025 review, summary, predictions kind of a reading. So these will be really deep as well in terms of self work, self reflection. But I feel like we are in this time. We're ending the year of the snake. We're ending the year of shedding. So, what I want to do today with this collective, I'm guided to do what is it that you still need to shed? What is it that you still need to get rid of? So, I have a couple of decks that we're going to use for that. But before we start, as always, we're going to do how are you feeling? Where's your energy? Where you're at? So you know that this is your collective. So, let's give it a start. I hope the sun is not bothering you. I refuse to close the drapes because, I mean, it's such a rare thing to have sunlight. The Emperor. The Emperor. Powerful. That's powerful. That's masculine energy, but it's good. You know, sometimes we have to sit in our opposite energy in the sense of if you're a female and you're sitting in your masculine, as long as it's a healed masculine, sometimes we need that. I was hearing with that, maybe you're a male and it's not opposite for you. But I was hearing with that you're sitting with your strength, but I was also hearing structure. So maybe you are now in this moment of life where you feel like you're building something for your future, like you're building foundation. I'm feeling career and both career and healing, right? So maybe you're in deep realizations that, you know, what you do today influences tomorrow, which is an absolute true. The choices that we take today, how we want to take care of ourselves, what decisions we want to take, how deep we want to go, what kind of a self-reflection we want to do today, it sort of influence the quality of our life tomorrow. So very powerful card to start with. Let's see what else. Let's do 3 more for your first row. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what do we have? We have 6 of Wands. Beautiful. We have Knight of Cups. And we have Queen of Wands. Maybe you're a fire sign, strong fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sag. Aries especially is coming forth with this Emperor. Maybe you're just ruled by fire, or you feel very fiery. You would feel very fiery. You would feel like you are sitting in I'm hearing the best moments of your life. So maybe this is the sensation that you have, that these are the best years of your life, that this is the moment when you have the opportunity to heal, to build something, to change certain things, to set that tone for future. You would feel quite empowered, quite believing in yourself, believing in your success. There's this fierceness in this energy. There's this triumph in this energy. Maybe you've recently even achieved something, or you know, sometimes when we are on a specific journey, connecting to a specific path, specific purpose, sometimes it takes time to really become someone who is very established and very, very grounded in that mission. But our guides occasionally give us successes, give us triumphs, to sort of confirm you're on the right path. Just take it easy, you're on the right path. So that's the reason I'm hearing it. So maybe you recently had a little success in your I kind of don't like to call it, yes it's career, yes it's right, but it's when it's really your mission, when it's really your purpose, when you really put in yourself into what you do. And I feel like that would be the case for this collective. It's not just a day job, right? But maybe you actually do something that you love and you enjoy. It's part of us, it's part of our life, it's part of, right, it's all these elements at one point you know, when we talk about love and career, they sort of separate, but it all links back to who we are, right? And another thing that I'm sensing is that you would be sitting in this mindset of, I want to offer something to this world. I want to give back. I want to that's why it's making me feel that you would have a path and a purpose. You know how we always talk about that life is about discovering your gift and discovering what you can offer to this world, and then actually offering it to this world. Hold on. I was a little bit distracted by that sun. So I feel like you are sitting, yeah, in this mindset of, I want to give back. I want to give back, and I want to build my life on giving back. Sorry. Let's do another row. The Emperor. We have Eight of Pentacles. Sorry, and we have Page of Pentacles. Very grounded energy coming forth. I feel sorry. I feel with these two combined that you are, there's a reason I said to you guys, and it came to my mind before, that when we are starting to connect to the journey of true path, true purpose, doing something that is not just career, not just how I make pentacles, but it's part of my mission, it's part of who I am, we understand that it's going to be a journey, and they sometimes give us confirmations that yes, you're on the right path, little successes, little, right? So I feel like this collective, you know that you still have work to do, that you still haven't built that foundation, right? So you wouldn't be someone who is established in a field, that you have to still learn and still grow, which is amazing, because I always say this to you guys. Yes, we start as a student, we end up as a teacher, and then we move to mastery. But when a master, and if a master says, I need no one and there's nothing for me to learn, it means that this person ain't a master. This is why I always talk to you guys about, you know, these people, and a lot of wounded women, men as well, who go online and say that, oh, the answers are within, you need no one. Ultimately, all the answers are within. But even the greatest spiritual masters had their own masters when they were young, not necessarily when we talk about age. So it's sort of a circle of life. It's how we help each other, how we build communities. It's how we break the illusion of separation, right? So you would understand maybe that you need still a mentor, that you still need to learn many things, that you still need to work on your craft. There is this sense of focus in your energy, but also understanding that it's going to be a journey. So take it step by step. I don't feel that there's urgency within this collective. Maybe that's exactly because you've received a little confirmation recently that success that made you feel, I'm on the right path. It will come to me when the time is right. And for now, I will just, you know, continue to develop my craft. Two more. We have Knight of Wands. And we have the Empress. That's really beautiful. I feel you would be, I mean, all my collectives are self-aware, right? I always explain this to you guys. I'm a healer that creates healers. I'm a reader for people who are on a path of you know, journey of healing, self-discovery. Of course, there's a spectrum, right? But I'm not that reader, and I'm not the healer that reads for people that come to a reader once in a lifetime to tell them what's going to happen in 10 or 15 years and what's going to be their lifetime. I'm a shadow worker, so I work with people who are willing to work on themselves, to improve themselves, to work on their shadows. So obviously all my collectives, if it's truly your collective, all my collectives are spiritually aware, awakened, mature, on a certain journey, but it was coming to my mind that you would be someone that is aware of a feminine and masculine energies within, that we all carry both, that we need to heal both, that we need to teach them to interact with each other to achieve that inner harmony, that inner union, that inner yin and yang, right? So I feel right now your focus would be on your masculine energy, so to making yourself feel safe, to creating structure for yourself, to providing for yourself, to building something with stability, with dedication, which is beautiful. To build anything in life, anything tangible in life, we need that inner masculine. So even when we are spiritual and we are in our feminine energy, when we talk about building our business, following our path, or even approaching healing, and I often say this to you guys on sessions, you need to activate that inner masculine to have consistency, to have dedication, to have determination. These are all qualities of masculine energy. But I feel like you also are aware that you have this femininity within, and that you also work on your inner world, right? So I am sensing for this collective, your focus is a little bit more about creating your path, maybe your path, not so much your healing. So maybe you would be focusing on career or on building that career. The sun is I'm playing with it a little bit, but yeah, there is this energy of wanting to give back, wanting to offer something to this world, developing your craft. Maybe we should do the feminine cards for you in a moment. But all right, let's look into what is it that you still needs to shed. I sort of want to start from these, and then we're gonna dive deeper. What is it that you still need to shed? What shedding do we need to do? Final shedding of a snake before we move into that horse energy. I am already loving it, and I cannot wait what next year will bring. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. So there's a reason I was sensing it. There is something when it comes to masculine energy and feminine energy, because this is exactly that. Our feminine energy is our flow, is our spirituality, is our connection to God, to our purpose, is our intuition, right? And practicality is the masculine energy, is the logic, it's the foundation, it's the structure, it's the dedication. So maybe you are still being called. We're going to dive deeper and we're going to clarify, but maybe you're still being called to balance these two within, that inner union not necessarily is yet achieved. And oftentimes when we talk about inner union, I always say this to you guys, I have few articles available on my website under Divine Love section where you can learn about both of these energies internally and then externally, and how to work with them, how to heal them, how they should interact. But one of the three pillars of that inner union is trust. These energies need to trust each other, and it's coming to my mind. So maybe your masculine doesn't necessarily just yet acknowledges equality of your feminine within. It doesn't necessarily trust in intuition of the feminine, in the guidance, in the inspiration of the feminine. So there's something here that needs to be balanced. What's also coming to my mind is that there's this stage when we are on a journey of spirituality, when we're still in search of that authentic soul, authentic spirit of ours. There's a moment when it's also magical, right? It's also special, especially people who are meant to be spiritual teachers, or they really dive into this journey of spirituality, right? It's so special. You see magic around you, signs and synchronicities, and maybe when you do healing session or shamanic sessions, remembrance of past lifetimes, you start to understand your dreams, you start to connect inner wounds to even body symptoms, right? And certain things that were dormant too, because this is the world that we live in that makes us dormant, they seem like magic, right? So we sort of go with that flow and with that magical aura of ours. How is this possible? How can this be? How did this lady knew, right? My energy. But then when you balance, when you truly heal, you understand, it becomes normality. Spiritual teachers, it's not like we get up with sunrise at 5 in the morning. We start from, like drumming and meditating, and then we have days like that. We have days like that. I just had a day like that for 12 of the 12. I have days that are ceremonial days, and my phone is off and I fully submerge myself into this beautiful world. But on a daily basis, we live in this physical world. We have this physical body. We sometimes, struggle with normal daily things. We go to pick up groceries. We have friends, or, maybe not close friends, but acquaintances or people around us or family members who know zero about these kind of things. And it becomes normality. It's no longer, that's why I also say to you guys to enjoy those first moments, because those moments, it becomes, remembering past lifetimes, having, dreams, the magical synchronicities, magical in your life. It becomes normality. So maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're not yet understanding how you will be able to have normality in your life. Maybe you think that your life will never go back to normal, but it does, especially for people who go really deep on this journey. We create some sort of a spiritual healing bubble, right, for ourselves, and we sit in this bubble. Oftentimes in this bubble we separate ourselves from certain friends and connections. We have to figure ourselves out, and things seem to be so magical and so weird, and everything changes. And we often, I as well explained this to you guys on many occasions, we often go into these extremes, right? We only use 100% natural organic products, nothing else, and we clean our diet to the extremes, right? We really go to those extremes, but then it balances out. We're humans, we live in this world. There are certain things that we're not gonna avoid, and we're not gonna go backwards in time. We live in an industrialized world, and it's very wounded and it's very distorted, and it's our job to heal it and to open people's eyes to certain things. But we are allowed, I always say this is this healthy balance of 80-20, right? At 20%, we can be humans living in a matrix. We can have occasionally little chocolate. We can occasionally, break our healthy routine and break our daily whatever is it that you do to stay on point with your mind, body, and spirit. We can occasionally get a little upset and a little petty. It's part of life. It's part of life. So maybe you still need to understand that and feel okay with it, and allow yourself to do that. A win-win outcome is forecast. So we have two cards that are about balancing, are about, what's coming as well to my mind with this win-win forecast, we have Pisces and Libra energy, is that oftentimes when we embark on this journey of spirituality, we start to understand certain things are shown to us. We start to understand how much our inner world influences our external world, not just what's around us, but our body, our health. We start to understand that every ache, every disease comes from unprocessed things on the inside. We start to connect the wounds, the shadows, the traumas, link them together, right? And we enter this phase, and everybody goes through that. I don't care what anyone says. It's just that some people get out of it and some people get stuck on this layer. We all get into this spiritual ego kind of a mentality. So we want to fix everyone, and it's not coming from a place, it doesn't always come from a place. There is a superiority obviously in the spiritual ego, but it's not coming from a place of viciousness, but it's It's this mentality of, now I know, I've seen the light, I've seen the truth, I know how it works, so I want everyone to know. I want to force everyone to go to a healer, to go to a shaman, to start healing, to start doing certain practices, to start understanding. And we start to force certain things and certain truths on people that maybe they're not ready, maybe they don't yet have the capacity. We have different levels of consciousness, and certain levels of consciousness are simply not achievable if a soul is here on the first lifetimes. If it's a young soul, what we call, I always explain this to you guys, there is no young, time is just an illusion, all souls are eternal. But when we talk about this adventure of life on earth, the more lives we've went through, so the more, as a soul, the more ambitious we are, and we're like, go go go, this lifetime, that lifetime, another adventure, we don't need a break in between, the boom boom boom, right? We get more experience. So we become that old soul. And you know, some souls are more tied to earth, less. It's a complex sort of a thing, I don't want to go into that. But the more earthly experience we have as a soul, the older soul, we can call it that, we have the capacity to raise our consciousness to a certain level. But some people won't have the capacity in that specific lifetime, and maybe there's a reason that it's coming through for you, because we had in the beginning in your energy that you are some sort of a teacher, right? I always say this to you guys: walking a path of mission and being spiritual and carrying the energy of teacher, the agent of change, it doesn't mean that you're going to be spiritual teacher, reader, healer, right? Truly spiritual people, if you've healed yourself, we're all become healers. But sometimes you can be an actual teacher. You can work with children, you can work with women, you can be some sort of a therapist, masseuse. There's a variety of missions for us. But when you will touch people's souls, when you will share your healed frequency, when you will become that person that people will notice that you have a bit of a more of that knowledge and consciousness, and they will come to for answers, you have to understand that not everyone has the capacity to fully understand everything. Not everyone has the capacity to fully change. And for some people, it's not on their timeline. It's not in that lifetime. It's not the mission of their soul for this life. Right? Not everyone is going to free themselves from the chains, and not everyone is going to lift the veil, and it's absolutely okay. One day on this earth, let's hope, we're building new earth right now, we're going to get there, but we're not there yet, right? And souls come here to experience pain and challenges through lower level of consciousness. So it's also understanding that you can fight with the flow of the river, and you can force that change and that awakening on everyone. And sometimes you just have to hold space on that level of consciousness that is required. And side note, it's coming to my mind, so maybe it's relevant for this collective. Sorry, this is why I always say to you guys as well, that you need to understand yourself and your mission, what kind of an audience you're going to work with, because you can be a great spiritual teacher and an ascended master, like we had ascended masters on this earth that will really work with masses, with many people, with people who don't have that capacity. So you will have to adjust your teachings, your expectations, your requirements, how you speak to them, how you form your messages, right? And then you can, some people have a completely different mission, like myself. Like I wouldn't even know how to read for someone who is completely dormant and thinks that tarot is a game, or it's predicting future, and you know, thinks that I'm a witch or like a carnival lady, and I'm going to look in a crystal ball and tell them that love is behind a corner, and in 2 months they're going to meet a tall blonde guy. I wouldn't even know how to read, because my channel and things that immediately come to mind is healing, is shadow work, is deep work, is wounds, is core wounds, right? So I wouldn't be able to, and sometimes occasionally someone forces me to, forces in the sense that at this point I just, you know, graciously say no. But you know what's it like? Sometimes you have people in your family, they're like, oh my God, you read cards, like read these cards to me, what does this mean, what does that and it's difficult, right? Because Sometimes we're guided to, okay, I'm gonna give it a try, because maybe even one sentence will stay with this person on their level of consciousness, right? But I struggle with these situations because I wouldn't even know how to read to a person that doesn't understand that we all carry wounds, that it is us, that we have to look within, right? So this is why it's important to understand your mission, say what to say yes to, what to push back, what directions to go, what qualities you have to develop. You have that energy of developing your craft, of developing your developing your abilities, your gift. So you would be in this point that they're really wanting you to understand. And to also, I'm hearing, develop compassion. Hold your vision. That's beautiful. So you would have some sort of a vision, and that's confirmation that this vision is right, that you're on the right track. One more. Work through your fears. Work through your fears. Scorpio energy. We're gonna clarify with tarot right now, but maybe there are certain shadows still, certain wounds, and it's also coming to my mind. So again, everything happens for a reason, and everything that comes to my mind in a reading is significant. So maybe you are still thinking to yourself, when is that moment of switch, when a student becomes a teacher, and then when a teacher becomes a master? Is the fact that I'm a master means that I am perfect? No, and I always say this to you guys, the best teachers, the best spiritual teachers, ascended masters even, are those that understand that we constantly expand, that there's never going to be a moment, because until we shed this physical body, right, we will always have limitations. And what true spiritual teachers do, the greatest spiritual teachers, again, even ascended masters, is to sit with themselves in presence and contemplation, to constantly be mindful of the feelings of the ego, of the behaviors of the ego, of the patterns of the ego, to constantly break them, to constantly break ourselves and go deeper and deeper and deeper. So this is also why I say to you guys, a person who says you need no one, you only need to look within, if it's coming from a place of light, like I said, it's true, right? But when people say this with this dose of arrogance, of like, you don't need to listen to ascended masters or teachings of anyone, or you don't need a mentor, you don't need a teacher, you don't need a reading, you don't need a healing session, it's arrogance, it's separation, right? And even when you are on the level that you already found wholeness, you already are a spiritual teacher, a lot of your ancestral wisdom was already revealed to you, and you work with that already, we still are allowed occasionally, even if it's few times a year, to have someone to hold space for us, because it's sort of a spiritual spa, is maintenance, right? We still do these ceremonies for ourselves. We still embark on shamanic journeys, whatever is it that, everyone individually, because a healer, this is this misconception, right? If you, for example, go on a shamanic journey with a shamanic healer, with a shaman, people, it's separation, superiority, right? When you say you don't need that, because when you allow a shaman to hold space for you, it doesn't mean that this person is superior to you, or it doesn't mean that this person is a bigger of a master than you, and now they're going to heal you with their magical healing powers. No, they're going to hold space for you so you can fully go deep, and you yourself within find the answers, right? It's similarly to, it's a silly example, but it's coming to my mind. If you're a manicure, does it mean that no one else can do your manicure? You have to do it yourself. Or if you allow someone to do your manicure, it means that you're saying that this person is better than you are. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. This is why I always say to you guys, be so very much careful what you hear online, because the amount of BS bollocks that is out there coming from a place of fear fear, separation, superiority, inferiority. I am better than you because I don't go to a healer, because I don't need no one to give me advice, because all the answers are within. You guys, when you come to me on sessions, again, I don't touch you and magically heal you. I create a healing space for contemplation. Then you, knowing the directions that I have given to you, you have to go within and find the answers within. Oh my gosh. So maybe it's something that you